near and dear to you that caused you to think of that particular name, or maybe you just wanted to look through a baby book and find a name that had some special meaning to it, maybe a prophetic kind of name that you wanted to share with that child to give them their identity for the rest of their lives. 35 years ago, actually about 36 years ago now, 36 and a half years ago today, or in this near season of time, my wife and I felt a call from God to begin this thing called Church of the Redeemer. At the time, I was the director of campus ministries at what was then called CBN University. It's now known as Regent University. I had the privilege of teaching in their program there. I was teaching in the counseling program, and I was really oriented toward an academic career. I felt like perhaps my career in the future would be to serve and maybe in higher education, because I enjoyed that, enjoyed working with students, and really enjoyed teaching. But I felt the call of God on my life and on our lives as a family to do church planting, to plant a church. And through a sequence of events that are too long for me to describe today, we ended up understanding that where we were to be was Gaithersburg, Maryland. God placed a love for this community in our hearts, and we fell in love with it. We were identified with it, and we knew this was where we were going to move to plant a brand new church. To give you a little bit of context, we did not know anyone here in Montgomery County. We knew no one in Maryland. In fact, when we eventually moved here, we had to get some people from Virginia to come and help us move in, because we knew not a soul. We came into this area completely without any kind of connection with anyone whatsoever, but feeling a call of God to be here and to plant a new church in this Montgomery County area, and now into the Frederick County as well area also. And that was a season of our life that we knew that we needed to make a decision about what the name of this church would be. What will we name this church? My wife and I spend a lot of time talking about, well, do you like this name, or do you like that name? And just like any couple will do as they're naming a child, there's different names that are bandied about. What will the name be? And so we knew that we would give a name to this church that would potentially outlive us. We wanted a name of a church that would be really something that would signify the identity of who we are as a church family. And over a period of discussion points, we finally realized that really it wasn't up to us to name the church, because it really wasn't our baby, it was God's baby. And so the parents get to name the child. And so we began to pray even more diligently about the name of the church. Lord, what would you have this church to be called? What is the name of this church to be? And we began to try to listen to the voice of God, because I did not want to just sort of pull a name out of a hat somewhere and just sort of slap it onto this church. I wanted it to have the mark of who God was saying that we were to be, a prophetic statement about who we were as a church family. And over a period of time, the name Redeemer began to come to us over and over again. We were praying about the idea of naming the church, Church of the Redeemer. And I can remember in that process of praying, I set aside one day to pray about this move. We had not yet moved here and started the church, and I was